Hi everyone! Welcome to episode 62 of Annijuuti Knits. Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel Annijuuti Knits. My name is Anniina and I come to you from the west coast of Finland, where I live with my family, my two little boys and my husband. And this is a channel where I share everything about my knitting and my knitwear designs, so you're most welcome to join me here. Happy New Year and happy 2024. It has been a pretty cold beginning of the year here in Finland, and you definitely need all your woolly items so you can cope here. I know it's the same in other places as well, but we had quite a crisp start for the year. We had a week worth of minus 30 degrees Celsius, and let me tell you, that is pretty cold. After that, we had 30 degrees temperature change, and it went back to zero, and even above it, we had 2 days of +2, +4, and now we are back to -10. So fun times. I prefer to have a little bit of crispness in the air. I prefer when it is below zero, because then it means that the air is drier and it's nicer when it's not all slippery and slushy. But that's the weather report for today. Okay, yeah, let's get started. I have a few finished objects. I have actually 3 since I last filmed. One of them was finished last year. It was, I think it was something like 9 o'clock in the evening on New Year's Eve when I finished my last item for that year, and I have since finished 2. If you know me at all, you might know that I have a lot of works in progress, and I have pulled out a few because there is this knit along that I want to participate in, or I am participating in, just to motivate me getting rid of some of my works in progress, and I will talk about that later. But should we see, or should we talk about my finished items first? And you might be able to tell that I am wearing one. This is my Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and this was a work in progress for ages. It was started back in 2022. It was September 2022 when I started, and it took me 1.5 years to finish it. And I did finish this year. I don't remember which date it was. It was very close to being done for Christmas, but then I had other things to do, and then I was like pushing it to finish it before the New Year's. I didn't manage, and I was like, my husband really wanted to have a hat which was warmer, and because we were in the middle of a cold snap, I was prioritizing his hat over my sweater. So I don't know, it was one of the first days of this year when I finally finished my Zweig. I'll put a picture here so you can see it as a whole. I'm not standing up. I'm sitting quite close to the camera. It is the Sunday, what is the date? 15th? 14th? Sunday 14th of January, and it is 10 o'clock in the morning, and my husband just took the boys, and my oldest have a football practice, and they just went. So I sat in front of the window, like directly. Luckily my phone is so smart, it will correct the colors because it is rather gloomy here inside. So yeah, here's the picture, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't remember which size I made and what I did, but I know that I have kept track, and I've put notes into my project page in Ravelry. So if you are interested, I have a link where you can go and check my project pages. And if you have something to ask, you can ask away, and I will answer, I will check. But it was a work in progress for ages. So I know which yarns I used. I used a merino tweed from Ruskanlehti. She's a Finnish dyer, and the colorway is called Konjakki, which is cognac. And I didn't actually even alternate skeins. I did, let's see, you can't really even tell. I did alternate couple of rounds before I switched from one skein to another, and I did the same in the sleeves, but I think it's such a beautiful dye work that you can't really tell, so I didn't see the point of alternating the whole way through. So I alternated just when I was changing skeins. I don't remember if I weighed my yarn. I had 3 skeins of the main color, and I had like a 30-40 gram nugget left, and this was a leftover from my Paju pullover, which is a design of mine, and this gray one is from Kettu Yarns, and the colorway is called Fog, and it's the same base, the tweedy merino base. But yeah, I've been living in this sweater since I finished it. I have worn it multiple times, and I have come to realize that even though making fingering weight sweaters is very slow, I find them the most wearable. You can wear them inside, you can wear them throughout the year, even the summer in Finland. They are the perfect sweater to wear, and even like wintertime, usually we have very good outer layers, so this is the perfect thing to wear throughout the whole year. So yes, I'm super happy how it turned out. I didn't make the sleeves according to the pattern. I did some decreases, and then I did more just before the cuff, but I just winged it. I was comparing this to another sweater that I wear a ton, and I wanted a similar fit. So I didn't end up also doing the texture for the body because I didn't see any point in that. This yarn is already quite textured, so I thought that I just let the yarn shine, and I didn't. I just wanted to make this plain stockinette body and sleeves, and it's perfect, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, nothing much to say because I don't remember the details. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in length in other episodes. You may have to go back 30 episodes or so to find it out, but never mind. It is finished and ready, and I love it. So the other finished object I already mentioned briefly, my husband's hat. I think I talked about this in previous episode, can't quite remember, but I didn't use a specific pattern. It is inspired by the Oslo hat by Petite Knit, but because I don't like the decreases that she has in the pattern, and I've made hat patterns myself, and I know my sweet spot, or I know how I like the hats to fit, so I just chose a needle size to work with my yarn, which was Drops Charisma. I will pop a picture of my husband wearing it. He just asked for a warm hat. It's triple layer brim and it is warm, and I used the decreases from my own pattern, which is the Vohveli hat, and I used that to create those decrease lines. Very simple, nothing fancy about it. It took probably like 130-150 grams of yarn, and he's been wearing it since, and he's wearing it now, so I don't have it here. All right, on to my works in progress that, no, actually I have one more finished object, and this was the first whip that I carried, or actually the second, but I carried this from last year, and it is now done, and I'm participating on the Free Your Needles Cal 2024, which is a knit along or make along by Anastasia from Free Your Sheep, and she is inspiring everyone to tackle their older whips and to finish them and free your needles, and I think that is fabulous. So I started this in December. I bought a couple of these hot water bottles, and I used scrap and leftovers, and this is by any means, this is not pretty, but it is done. It is using this slop yarn, which was a leftover from a sweater, and I had no idea what to do with it. So I used it up. I just had like a tiniest nugget left, and I threw it away because, to be honest, using this slop yarn, it's difficult, and I've used it in a blanket project, and now I use it here, and I just didn't want to see it anymore because it's a nice texture when it's on a sweater, but when you are forced to use little scraps of it, it's difficult. So this is what I use it for. It is held together with a white Novita woolly wood that I had leftovers from a top that I made, and it's not pretty, but it's functional, and I didn't have the bandwidth to make this neckline longer, so I just made it so that it just comes a little bit taller than the neck of the bottle, and it covers the edge, and it's fine. So this is, I didn't use a pattern. I don't have notes. I thought that I had some notes, but I didn't find them anymore. Maybe I've scribbled them into behind another note or something, because I don't have any information about this, but there are plenty of hot water bottle cover patterns out there in Ravelry and everywhere. So if you are interested in making your own, you can do that. I just cast on this much stitches and increased, worked in the round, decreased, and made the color, if you will. So I have no idea what I did, but it's functional and it works and it's fine. Well, okay. So I thought that I would share a little bit about those older whips before I move into new ones. I have 2 new cast-ons that I want to share, but this is like an accountability post or accountability section. So I will show you what I chose to be my few items that I wanted to work on this month, and maybe that will inspire me to work on them even more. So I took a picture on the 1st of January, and this is the projects that I chose to work on. So the hot water bottle cover was the first one that I cleared off my needles, and the other one is this. I think I showed this sock in my previous episode, or did I? I talked about it at least. So I started a sock using the yarns that I got from my friend Rebecca. And I made the same vanilla sock that I always or quite often do. Last year I was very into these round toes and garter heel flaps. So round toe, garter heel flap, and I managed to finish one sock, and I have started the second, which is just barely started, but I think it's important to cast on as soon as you are done, because then it's easier to go from there. These were the contrast colors that I'm using, and I've explained the names in my previous episode probably, and then the main color, which is nervous fiber, that I know. So that was the first project, nothing really to talk about it. Here is where I changed colors. I'm trying to use the jogless stripe method, and I think it's working quite fine. And yeah, I wanted to make a pair of socks for myself using yarn that is gifted by a friend. So it is kind of like, yeah, it brings joy, and it makes you think of your friend, which is always nice. So I'm making a box of socks for myself this year. I'm aiming for 12 new pairs, and this is the first pair that I'm making, and it's going along nicely, and I think maybe in the next episode it is already done. Another project from that picture, it is my Lotus Lake socks. I am working on this very slowly. I don't even remember when I started them. Actually, I do. I started them when I went to Barcelona. This was my travel project, and I'm working two at a time, and I'm now in the heels, which makes this a little bit difficult. I have finished one heel, and I'm working on the second heel flap here. So one is done, and maybe I should put a blocker onto the one so you can see the lace pattern. So this is a pattern I released last spring. I think it was April, and it has been quite popular sock pattern of mine. It only comes in one size, but you can change needle sizes or yarn weight if you need it to be tighter or bigger. This is the lace. It's the same in my Lotus Lake tee, and this 3x1 ribbing that slides into the heel as well. So I'm working two at a time, as I said, and this yarn is a dyer that doesn't dye anymore, unfortunately, Karma yarns, and it is a BFL sock base, which is lovely and a little bit sturdier than merino base. But this is a project that is living in my handbag, and if I have time, I am working a couple of rounds, and I have managed to put in some heels, not both heels, but I had the legs done, so I've done one heel and a little bit of the second one. Okay, this next project, it has been on my needles for 3 years. Yes, you heard me, it's been on my needles for 3 years. And I show it every time that I do a whip parade, and I have these grand plans of always finishing it and whatnot. My problem is that, well, there's few problems. One of them being I wasn't very experienced when it came to sweater knitting when I started it, and I wasn't very experienced in using fingering weight yarn in sweaters, and it has been started 2021, January 1st, 2021, and I think I had made, this is the third sweater that I ever started, and since then I've done like 40 sweaters, but okay, show it, I can hear you screaming. This is the Pohjolan emäntä sweater. It's a beautiful, beautiful color work from the knitted Kalevala book, and I have done now the back panel. The back is now done. I finished it last night, so the 1st of January I was here, and I've managed to do 10 centimeters, and then I actually changed the pattern because this is a V-neck sweater, and I don't really feel comfortable in V-neck sweaters, and I always knew that I wanted to do a round neck, and I have my plant lady tee that I wear a ton in the summer, and I love the fit. It's a similar constructions, worked from bottom up and then drop shoulder and that all that jazz. So what I did is that I copied I mashed these two patterns together. I did take the short row shaping from the plant lady tee, and this pattern is just a very boxy, rectangular, minimal shaping. So I didn't want that because I know that doesn't fit me. My one biggest concern that I have about this pattern is that I started 3 years ago. I think it was 2 dress sizes ago. And I don't know if this is going to fit, and it's a little bit scary because if I'm doing all this work, I'm hoping it'll be fine, but if not, I have to give this away, and that's sad if that happens. I had gauge issues. My color work tension was way tighter than it was supposed to be, so I have once already frogged like 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters of stockinette because it wasn't working, and now I'm determined that I will get this going. And last night I told myself I will give it half an hour, and I ended up working like 2.5 hours to finish the back, which was great. Now it's done. Now I move into the front, and I will again do the plant lady tee pattern for the shaping and for the shoulders, because I'd like to do that. But there's also this ribbing that annoys me. If you can see, it flares out a lot. I didn't have small enough needles for the ribbing. It is a floppy ribbing after this or before this very dense color work, but I don't know. I really love the pattern. I really love the color work. I think it's super spectacular, and I really wanted to wear this. This is a yarn from my aunt's farm. She no longer has the farm, so this yarn is precious. It's a local, well, it's not local to me, but it was local to her, mill that spun up the yarn, and it's beautiful single ply Finship wool, so soft, so warm. I love it. I just need to finish the front panels and attach the shoulders so that I can actually try it on and see how it looks. because then I know. Before the sleeves, I know how it fits, and then I can breathe, breathe again. Whew, that sounded really negative, but actually last night I was really inspired and I was really into working on it, and I don't think it didn't really come through, but I do want to finish that project. I really want. The only concern is that I do all this work and it doesn't fit me, because that would be a shame. If not, I will give it to my aunt. She's way smaller than I am, so I think she would appreciate it if it doesn't fit me. All right. Next one in the picture, maybe I'll put a picture here again so you can have a fresh look. And that is this pair of socks. I haven't worked on them, so they are exactly in the same stage than they were. DK socks, my own design. I was planning on writing this up this week, but I've actually been working on another design project, so here they are. These are DK socks, some honeycomb cables, some moss stitch, and this beautiful green color. I have done almost the second cuff, and I haven't been working on them because I want to write up the pattern and then finish the second sock so that I can actually test knit it while I work on it. So this is a very near future project. I have a name for them, but I'm not going to release it quite yet because I just want to introduce it when I actually have written up the pattern. One more thing, I think. Two more things. One from the picture. I have a confession to make. I'm the worst test knitter that there is. I always have these beautiful intentions and I always think that I have all the time in the world, but to be honest, I don't. And my friend Hannah from Herb Garden Knitwear, she had this Tallulah tea test knit and she was running it for 3 months or so. And I was like, surely I can do a t-shirt in 3 months, which is still possible because the test ends February 14th. So I have exactly 1 month. So I dug it out. I've just made the ribbing. I have cast on the wrong amount of stitches, like really wrong. I have followed like 3 sizes too small. There's a lot of sizes in this pattern. She's very size inclusive, so there's like a ton of sizes. And I followed the wrong numbers, so I need to frog it. Maybe we'll do it together. Let's just do this. Let's get it over with. So I need to start over. And I hope that I will find my motivation to just get it going. It's not a very difficult pattern. It's rather big gauge for and it's a t-shirt. I know I can do a t-shirt in 4 days if I want to. I've done that before. And I'm using this eucalyptus yarn. I participated on this test knit because I wanted to make a black t-shirt for myself, and I thought this would motivate me. Oh, sorry. This is just some random yarn. I've never tried it, and I bought it from this secondhand store which sells new stuff as well. But I don't know, they bought it somewhere and I thought it feels really soft. It feels like tencel yarn, and it feels to knit it knits up like cotton yarn. I feel like I'm struggling with my words today. I hope you don't mind. Yeah. So I need to start over. And this is a stitch marker that I actually received from a lovely person. I have no recollection of who it was. I got it in Barcelona Knits. She was talking to Selma and gifting her something, and she gifted me this stitch marker as well, because she liked Selma and I was with her. So there you have it. Or I think it was. No, I don't remember. It was a crazy day, and we met a lot of people, and I'm sorry if I don't remember who it was, but I was very happy to receive this beautiful little gift, and I think it's beautiful, so I've been using it. All right, it's back on the skein, and I just need to recast on the stitches, and then I will be fine. And those were all the old whips that I need to tackle on. And we will move into my next 2 work in progress that are new cast-ons in a second. But first we will do a wardrobe change. All right. I'm wearing my Amidala sweater. And I'm wearing it because I have started a second sample, and I have also just yesterday posted a test call, or not posted, I didn't post it yet. I sent an email to my newsletter subscribers and let them know that there is this test knit available, and Amidala is a round yoke sweater. And it's a very unisex design. Maybe I'll put a picture here of me standing up because you can't really see. And it is knit with Finship wool. It is a DK technically, but it knits up like worsted. So it's a worsted gauge, 19 stitches over 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And it has short row shaping in 2 places, in the neck band and then after the yoke, so that the fit would be greater, or the fit would be better. Yeah, this is just your typical yoke sweater, but I have really wanted to take into consideration about I have really wanted to focus on the fit, because that's important to me, and it's a generous fit with intended ease of 10 centimeters or 4 inches, but of course you can do as you please. And if you are interested in test knitting it, the test knit application will be open, I think, until Monday or Tuesday even, because I will pick out the testers and start the test knit on Wednesday. I have knit this up in Jalovilla Uhi, which is a Finnish yarn, Finship, not Finship, it doesn't specify it. It's a mix of Finnish breeds, and it's a very plump, beautiful rustic yarn, and the colors are natural black, which is actually this very dark brown, and then ochre, which means ochre, and it's this dyed, this yellow one. So if you are interested in, first of all, if you are interested in hearing the test knitting opportunities, you can subscribe to my newsletter. There's a link in the description, and you are always receiving the test calls first, but you also get special discounts for my new releases. There is the best discounts that there are. There's always in one in my newsletter. So after each release, you will get an email with a code that gives you the best discounts. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So let's go into my second sample. It is here in the bag that I received from my advent calendar. I didn't show you the best part of it. I can live by that rule. If I can't bring my yarn, I'm not going. So the second sample that I started is using a light main color and a darker contrast color. This main color is again a Finnish yarn. It is from a mill here in Finland, and it's this kampalanka. I don't know what it is in English, but it's the finer wool. You get the longer hair. It's the combed version. I don't know, but it is similar thickness than Jalovilla Uhi, and I'm combining it with Peruvian Highland wool by Filcolana, and they are exactly the same thickness, so they work really well together. Maybe here you can see the shaping that I have here on the neck. So this is the front, this is the back. As you can see, there's a big difference. If I will lay them against each other, you can see that there's this much shaping already in the neck. And then I added after the yoke some shaping as well. I tend to put stitch markers whenever I'm doing a circular yoke sweater after each repeat, so that I can keep track and I don't really make mistakes as much, and I don't do a whole round and realize that there's a mistake. So I like to put those markers in so that I can make sure I'm not making mistakes when I'm increasing, and also the color work chart is easier to read when you have the segment. It's there already. I'm making a size 2. I'm making it for a friend because I don't need another similar to this, and to be honest, it's much quicker to do size 2 than size 5. So I'm wearing the size 5, and yes, I'm making size 2 so that it's quicker to make, and she will get to model this sweater for me. All right, one last thing, and this is what I've been doing the most in the last 2 weeks. I think I showed the yarn in my previous episode. I'm pretty sure I did. How can I can't remember what happened 2 weeks from this day? Not from 2 weeks ago. I'm struggling. I have wanted a plain, or not a plain, like a simple raglan sweater with a beautiful hand-dyed yarn, a speckly one. And Mika from Skeins of Dreams, she has been my inspiration. She has done a few quite close-fitting raglan sweaters in the last year, and they look so professional, so chic. So I wanted to copy her, and I'm using the Bagnol sweater by Camilla Knit. She came out with this pattern not too long ago. I think it was December, if I don't remember incorrectly, but it was the perfect gauge for what I had in mind, and I have this sweater here. Woo, ta-da! It has been so wonderful to work on. My changes for the pattern was that I didn't do 1 by 1 ribbing, I did 2 by 2. And I made sure that the raglan matches the color you pick up and redo or do the color afterward. And I am now making this. This is a size 4, which is 110 centimeters, but I did add a few stitches because I have chunkier arms and a little bit larger. My bust is 112, 113. So I added a few stitches here under the arms to give more room for my sleeves and more room for my bust. But I wanted a closer fitting sweater. I wanted it to lay flat here. I didn't want it to have any extra fabric around my neck. So I made a smaller size, and it's going to have 0 ease or maybe 1 or 2 centimeters of ease. And it's going to be so beautiful. I have already tried it on. It fits perfectly. And the yarn is Wool Me Once Fibers merino sock. The colorway is called Längtan till Haru, I think. I'll put it here. And it is the most beautiful speckly blue. There's browns. There's some lighter blues and beige, and it's beautiful. I'm alternating skeins, so I've been alternating since I don't know, since I finished the neck increases. I think I started already like here. So I started alternating in one of the raglans, and then I changed it over to the side. I've been doing the wait for it. I've been doing the easy alternator that I learned from Professor Pearl, and you can see that there's a tighter column here, but there's no wrapping the yarn here on the inside. I hope that the blocking will help, but I'm tensioning it a bit tighter probably, but it's fine. It's like a seam on the side, it doesn't matter. And there was quite a big difference between the skeins, so I knew that I had to do the alternating. I have 2 lighter skeins, 1 darker, and I'm doing the main body, alternating the lighter and the darker. Maybe I can show it. I have the yarns here. So that was a difficult task to do. So one I'm pulling from outside, one I'm pulling from inside. That's why they are looking so different. But here you can see maybe the other one is way less speckled than the other. So I wanted to play it safe and alternate the whole way through. I know that I won't have enough of the darker one to finish the sleeves, but after I finish the body, I think I will do the ribbing in the lighter color, and then I will divide in half what I have left of the darker, and the other or the third skein is also a bit lighter, so I will alternate the darker, and when the dark runs out, then it's going to be just a lighter one. But I think I would prefer the body to be a bit more speckled, and I don't think that's the risk you get every time you are using a hand dyed yarn. And I bought mine in D-Stash. I didn't have anything to do with or I didn't choose the skeins myself. I'm holding it together with Lang lace, and this is just a natural white. I had to order this, and this is the color 992. So it's the natural white, and I love this project, and I've been enjoying tremendously working on it. And next time you see it, probably I have at least finished the body, because I've been loving this thing. This is actually my first sweater with mohair, and I wanted to have a better quality mohair than what I've tried before. I've tried the Kid Silk Mohair by Drops, and I have tried the Tun Silk Mohair by Sandnes Garn, and both of them itched my forehead. I've made hats, and I didn't want to risk it that my neckline would be. So I've been trying this on and it doesn't bother me, so I think I'll be fine using that. Okay, those were all the things that I have worked on since we spoke last. I want to show you this because this was a gift that I received for Christmas. It's a crocheted pillowcase. My mom had crocheted it for me, and it's the perfect fit for our living room because our couch is exactly this tealy blue, and as you can see, it matches perfectly with my knitting chair. So she had made it, and it's beautiful, and I don't crochet, and I think it's spectacular that she did all this work, and I think it's so beautiful and it fits perfectly here. One last thing is this little pile of goodies that I have there, and I will just go through quickly what I have received since we spoke. And disclaimer, I said that I will control my yarn purchases before the knitting festival in Jyväskylä, which is in July, and I did that also last year. And I have this principle that if I need something for a design, I do have quite a few yarn quantities for my future designs, and I have mapped out my designs for this year, so I should be fine if something doesn't come up. And these were either ordered before the New Year's, or I have been gifted them. One exception is these two, but there's also a story behind it. So if you have watched Camilla knit Vlogmas, you have seen that she did this Tanzania yarn during her Vlogmas, which is absolutely beautiful. I usually don't gravitate towards pinks, but it's combined with these beautiful rusty browns and teals and greens and everything. And she sold out immediately, and I told her that when she is making more, I will buy a skein of her. And it was the first days of January, but of course I wanted to purchase this yarn from her, and I had already made that decision before the year changed. And because this is coming from Denmark and the postage is expensive, I did add another skein just to save some money in the postage. I think it's more reasonable to purchase a little bit more when you have to pay for the postage anyway. This is the golden, what was the name? Golden Sky, and it's a beautiful light with hint of baby blue and these rusty colors that I love so much. So these skeins, technically, the decision was made already last year, but I got them this year. And then when I was ordering yarn for the fluffy sweater, so I had the Speckled hand dyed, but I had to order the mohair. So I thought that I would stock up with some sock yarn that I had already had my eyes on. This is Katia Taika, which means magic in Finnish. And this is a sport weight, I think. It's a sport weight. It's this beautiful variegated yarn that has like this color, like a gradient. And I bought 2 colors because they were discounted 40%, and it's a 150 gram ball, so I get easily even like big man size socks out of one skein. And I thought they were beautiful, and they are soft merino wool with some, I think, nylon or polyamide or something in them. Yes, for 25% polyamide and merino wool, and they are beautiful. And I had already had my eyes on these when this yarn store Nurja stocked them up for the first time, but I didn't have a plan, so I just now grabbed them because I have this box of socks challenge and I wanted to try this yarn, and it looks beautiful knit up. So those, they came in the mail with the mohair, but then I received a belated Christmas present from a friend, and I can't even, these are her own hand spun yarns. Look at these glorious skeins. She didn't just send me 1, she sent me 2, and they are so pretty, I can't even. So thank you, Marika. These are gorgeous, and I really need to have a good think what I would like to do with them, because they are just too pretty to be knit up. And she had also in the same present there was also a yellow skein, which is not here because I forgot to bring it. It was from her stash, deep stash, and she knows that I like yellow, so she gifted that. But also this one she had bought. It's beautiful greens and some teals with the rust and the olives, and right up my alley. So thank you, what a generous gift. I did make her and another friend an advent calendar. I dyed them up. Maybe I'll put a picture here how they turned out. They were 12-day advents, and I did them in September already, but I haven't had the chance to share this because yes, they were a gift and I didn't want to ruin the surprise. But I did these two custom advent calendars for friends, and I think they liked them, so that was good. Okay, it's been nearly an hour, so I think it's time to wrap this up. It was so wonderful to talk to you and to share my projects. And if you want to test my Amidala sweater, please don't hesitate to apply. The application form is linked down in the description. And I'm a little bit behind with my answers. I'm sorry. I have read all the comments you have replied, but I haven't had the time to go through them and properly answer them. So I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind, but I always appreciate all the comments I get, because it's so heartwarming to get all the support and hear about your projects as well. One last question that I'd like to ask: how many whips do you have? How many whips did you bring from 2024? Blankets don't count as whips. So do you have stuff to get through, or are you all cleared out from last year's projects? That's something that interests me, because I'm hopeless, and I brought, I think, like 12 projects from last year. So hey ho, that's me. I did actually rip out a project last night because I didn't feel like working on it. It was in a bag for a year and I didn't touch it. So I just bite the bullet and I ripped it out, and it was this safe space blanket. I had one column, 15 hexagons already done, and all gone, ripped it out, and it's no longer in my WIP pile. So that's good. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye!